Welcome back, everyone, to BBB Sharing. I'm Evie, Director of Ignite, sparked by BBB. And with me today, I have a very special guest, Leo Lantz Construction. Leo Lantz is actually the owner of Leo Lantz Construction, right?
That's correct.
Perfect. Well, you should be the owner considering you're named after the company.
Well, it technically it owns me, but
I can understand that. Yeah. When companies run your life, but when you love what you do, I think it's kind of, you overlook the company running you at that point.
Absolutely.
So there are a couple of things Barry wanted me to make sure I covered with you in here, but the number one thing was for you to talk about Pro. What is Pro? I think I've heard about it a couple times, but I don't really know what it is.
Well, Pro is a professional remodeling organization. They have a local chapter here that we have members all across the industry, contractors, subcontractors, tradespeople. We have vendors, different suppliers. So it's a broad spectrum of the Richmond market for our industry. And amongst the amenities for our members, we have different programs for education, meetings, socials to stimulate business amongst the members. Also, there's a code of ethics where we adhere to bring the best possible products and services to the customers in our community.
Amazing. Well, now that we got that one out of the way, I want to get into the fun questions.
Okay.
More about what you guys do, what you specialize in, and how you got into the industry to begin with.
Oh, gosh, that's a long answer there.
Loaded question.
We are a design, build, remodel contractor specializing in kitchens and baths and whole home, pretty much interiors, although I've done everything there is in the construction industry pretty much, from new construction, remodeling. I grew up in the fans, so we do a lot of historical renovation where we bring the home up to date but keep the charm of the older home.
I love that.
So I've worked on houses as old as the 1780s out in Beaver Dam to, we do a lot in like Oregon Hill, the fan area, but we also do modern renovations as well. So, but a big part of our process is we do the 3D CAD design for clients we do this all day. So we have to know what it's going to look like before we start. Mm-hmm. We can picture that in our mind, but for someone who's lived in the house at any length of time, they just can't imagine their space looking any other way. So when we give them a 3D design in color of what their selections are and what it's going to look like, they can then wrap their head around it and get excited about it, get an emotional attachment, but also it gives everyone a shared goal to work towards. So whether you're talking to different tradespeople, tile contractors, cabinet installers, everyone's got a plan that they're working towards.
Wow,
so
I was going to ask you about that. So
yeah, it saves in efficiency and mistakes. And I mean, nothing's perfect, but when everyone has a shared goal, there's much more efficiency and excitement about it.
That's amazing, because I was reading up on a lot of the things that you guys do, and it's listed on your business profile too on bbb.org. But one of the things that I noticed was the 3D CAD, and I was like, oh, what's that? That sounds really high tech. Now that you've explained it, I understand. That's really cool.
Well, that has been enhanced here within the last couple of years, because we have a software program that allows us to go in with an iPad that has a LiDAR scanner in it, and we go in and scan your space as it exists currently in about 30 seconds.
Wow.
And it imports all the dimensions and everything, so it saves me from running around with a tape measure trying to figure out how high this wall is or how long that wall is. And we send the file off, and it takes about a week to get the program back, or the file back, that we can import into our design software to help us. It just expedites the design process. And back in the day, I had to go, well, I'm going to say how old I am, but we had pencil and paper and black and white, and that was it. So the technology is amazing now. So
Technology has gone just wonders nowadays.
well,
what
that
it can do.
software has been around for a while in the commercial space, but now it's been brought into the residential space.
Wow.
So
what is the craziest request you've ever gotten from a customer?
oh gosh.
I know you've probably got a few.
Oh, there's a long list, but one of them that was pretty unique. This was probably about 20 years ago. I was asked to put a swan-shaped toilet and a disco ball in a bathroom. And needless to say,
That's
that
interesting.
toilet was not available in this country. I think it was seen maybe in Japan or something. And the whole disco ball thing, I haven't figured that one out yet, but yeah.
That I probably just imagining the look on your face. You're probably like, this person's kidding with me, like they're joking.
Well, at the time, I had some different subcontractors who wouldn't mind working in that space, so
Oh,
we'll just leave that as is. So
I would have liked to have seen the final product and what the bathroom space looked
I
like.
try to forget about that one. To be honest with you.
What are some common mistakes that you tend to see your customers make when they're making decisions during a remodeling process?
Well, just because they're not familiar with the sequence of events, they'll say make their selections in an order that makes it more difficult to come to a final design.
Yeah.
So typically, we recommend that you, like on a kitchen remodel, we'll recommend that you pick out your cabinets and countertops. And then once we do that, then we can always find a tile that will coordinate, because there's so many more tiles out there than there are, say, cabinet designs and colors or even countertop material. So I can find everything that will complement with those core choices. And yeah, that on the design side, that's one big thing they make. Or then some people, it's just in their personality. Yeah. If they see something like they love, they think it will go with the other thing that they love. And it's kind of like they want a Las Vegas kitchen, whereas everything's designed to distract you, every single thing. And it's just, so when you come to the final product, you're just on sensory overload, and it's just too much. So what I try to do is have people step it back to having maybe one or two eye-catching elements in the space and let everything else complement the core selections. So
I love that, because I grew up with my mom wanting a small family space, but we have big family. So
yeah,
when we have big get-togethers like Thanksgiving, and we're a big Greek family on top of that. So everybody wants to be in the kitchen helping. Everybody's sitting in the living room. Everyone wants to eat in the same space.
Mm-hmm.
And so my mom's very small mindset. And I'm like, you unfortunately have to think bigger and more efficiently in your space.
Absolutely. So, we have when we're going through the design process, I have certain questions I ask to see how many people are in the home. A lot of empty nesters. They don't have the kids there anymore. It's going to be for their longevity, or if it's for aging in place, or some of our younger clients, if they're having a family, so they want everything open. So some of the design is based on who's living there and the plans for how long they're going to be there, as well as the number of people, how much they entertain. So it's basically, we shape it around the people's lifestyle.
I think that's amazing. One of the things that I've noticed can tend to be a mistake with certain people, especially in your industry, companies don't tend to sit down and have conversations with their customers that's like, okay, I understand this is what you want, but here's more realistic for you, the lifestyle that you plan on living. Because some people are so dead set on what they want, my mother being one of them, but they have to be realistic about if they're actually going to be happy with their lifestyle in that living space.
One big thing we are keen on is we have to educate people about the realities of, of a remodeling
That's
process.
a good word. Reality
Okay.
is a good word.
So your job is not going to take 30 minutes, less commercials like you see on HGTV and things like that. We have to educate about true costs for the projects, timelines. A lot of projects you see on TV, they can prefabricate a lot of things, but pretty much when you live in this area, everything's going to be custom because the house, especially with it being older, nothing's going to be straight, square, level sometimes. So we have to, especially on like shower doors. Everybody wants a custom glass shower door. Well, given that it's a frameless glass door, it has to be custom made for your shower to compensate for any walls that may not be perfectly plumb or level. And so it takes on average 2 to 3 weeks to get that door. They come out and template it. We have to approve the template, make sure everything's accurate with hardware selections and so on and so forth. The glass has to be fabricated and shipped to us and then scheduled for installation. So that's a big delay. I try to tell people, say, look, we're not going to be in your house this entire time. It's just things take time.
Yep.
And even on countertops, that's about a typically 2 to 3 week turnaround on those. So it's like we hurry up and wait. So when you tell someone that their bathroom remodel is going to take 3 months, they're like, what? Why? Well, we educate about the process and the realities of what you're getting into.
I love that. There's no, oh yeah, we can do this, like the yes man, yes to this, yes to that. But yes, you can still say yes to certain things within reason, but making sure that the customer knows what they're getting themselves into, first and foremost. Before I let you go, there's a couple things that I want to do. Number one, how can people reach you?
Well, if you can't find me, there's something wrong. So you can go any Google search, web search. We're all over as a resource. The website's leolantz.com. That's LeoLantz.com. Office phone numbers 804-262-3360. We have a showroom location in Old Glen Allen in the Hunton area. That's very convenient if you're coming off at 295 and Woodman Road exit. But the website is a great resource for information. Go there, look up our design processes, how we do business. We have a lot of photo galleries and things of projects we've done because I've been doing this for over 30 years at this point. So, and there's even more. I can't fit it all on there. So I look at my photo gallery on my phone and I'm like, oh my gosh, how do I remember all these different projects at this point? So.
But I'm sure you spend a lot of time on all of them, and so there's probably ones more difficult to forget than others.
We've had been blessed to have some very beautiful projects that we've been able to design and build for clients. We as remodelers, we have such a positive impact for our clients in their daily lives. So I still have clients who will, like on a holiday, they'll send me a picture of them cooking in their kitchen, and years later saying, "I still love my kitchen," and it's making that.
I love that.
We become a part of their family for a short period of time. They usually hate to see us go, but then they're also happy to see us go too. So there's a plus and a minus, but we have a lot of long-term clients of basically they pretty much become friends.
That's amazing.
Later on, so
that's amazing.
We just treat everybody like I would want to be treated, and that's all I can do to remember what I do, and much less what anyone else does. So, and Dad always said, he said, "Son, always tell the truth, because when you get older, you won't be able to remember what lie you told."
Oh, that's true. That's good advice. Yeah. That right there is good advice.
Absolutely.
So my final question for you, and it might sound like a silly question, and you can pass or give me a one-word answer, but if you could design any celebrity's home, what would be the first thing you would do to it? And whose would it be?
Oh, gosh, a celebrity. I've actually worked with a few of them
Have you?
from some different projects, so that's kind of everyone is unique. So I wouldn't say that I have one specific favorite one, because I've done an episode of Fix It and Finish It for NBC with Antonio Sabato.
Wow.
And just in my life, I've been the past president of the Home Building Association of Richmond, so I've met a lot of the like the governors and the congressmen and things like that, and do some different lobbying on the Hill. So I really would say I don't have anyone in particular that I would
itching to be like, I'd love to get my hands on that house and do something to it.
There are some houses I've really would have loved to have touched over the years, so there wasn't a celebrity involved. I grew up down in the Fan, so there were some pretty rough houses that I would always wanted to buy, and
Fan's a beautiful area.
At the time, I didn't have the dollars to do it, but there's some along the corridor along near Roseneath and Monument that I would have loved to have gotten my hands on, but.
Well, I would say between the Swan and the disco ball in the bathroom, I think you've had quite a few interesting.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, I've visited England several times now, and when I go over there and see the architecture, it kind of gets my juices going. And I went into Warwick Castle and saw some of the rooms. Each new king or ruler would come in, they would try to outdo each other. And I saw one room with some like gold leaf where they did some moldings and things. And I actually had a project that we did for to make it look like a English bath.
Really?
And somebody 600 years ago tried to copy what I did, and I think I did a better job than they did.
I would have to say you probably did. Well, Lance, thank you so much for joining me. It was great getting to know you.
Oh, thank you, Abby.
And
enjoyed it.
Everyone that's listening, just so you know, it is the week of Thanksgiving. I hope you have a wonderful holiday with your families. And if you don't have family, I hope you have a wonderful Friendsgiving. Plenty of opportunities to get together and celebrate with people. And make sure you contact Leo Lantz, not only through Google, but BBB.org. Of course, you can find him. He's worked on so many projects. You're a local contractor, and I'm sure everybody knows about you. Barry certainly does. If you are watching on YouTube, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Our channel is BBB Central VA. And if you are listening on Spotify, BBB Sharing. Thank you.